What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Okay, guys. Okay. We can't deny the huge jump in improvement from episode 1 to episode 2. She came in out the gate letting us know that it was going to be different this time. She showed us at the very beginning of the episode, I'm not here to plex with Flip. I'm not here to plex with Ice. I'm not here to plex with Ish. I was just speaking my mind. It also shows that if Joe has a pep talk with her behind the scenes, she will listen to his advice and utilize it going forward. She showed early on that she could take the jokes and not be considered a dog pile. When they were speaking about her wig, she was chiming in with the jokes. When they were calling her big back in the day, she was chiming in with the jokes. And shout out to Mona. She looking good on today's episode. I know y'all know how I felt about her prior, but she's been looking good today. So I got to make sure I still give her that same credit. But she's taking the fat jokes. She's taking the wig jokes. She's taking everything in stride. She's taking the constructive criticism from the audience because a lot of people, she said, were commenting on her being on her phone, and she wasn't on her phone as much, although I have something to say towards that later on in the episode. What does that mean for everyone up there? If the new hire can come up there and take constructive criticism and make everybody up there pod better, then it'll make everybody pod better, and it'll make them more receptive to the constructive criticism that they receive from Joe and every other co-host up there. But we gotta give her major props. I wasn't expecting this huge of a turnaround. I thought she was going to continue to antagonize Flip and continue to antagonize Ice. But if you didn't notice, there are a couple of times today where she asked them questions. I want to hear your input. She's doing what Mark does at a far more subtle level, because now it's starting to stand out when Mark is getting ready to segue. Speaking of, that's Mark's segue. But before continuing on with the subject, and there was 2 times today where Joe wanted to change the topic or Mark was trying to segue somewhere else, where Mona chimed in and asked for Ice and Flip's input. That's a big deal. But let's go back to the beginning of me saying Flip and Mona showed that they were friends. When they did that little heart thing with the hand, I was like, oh, that's cute. And she looked like she was giving him a genuine smile. I was like, look at me overanalyzing how they act with each other. Oh, that's cute. But then Flip got back in his bag. And I'm sure I'll dedicate a video on Flip's behavior directly, but I do want to give a quick synopsis on this. He felt the energy shift from Mona, and we kind of got old remnants of Flip on today's episode as well. And it does not help your case, Flip, that you get the most animated speaking on somebody that isn't even present. A lot of people keep calling her a ghost, which is hilarious, but you already know who we're talking about. And there was 2 moments today where you had an eruption over things that were alluding to Mel or things that you knew were correlated with things happening in Melissa's life. That's a weird stance to side on, sir, especially when Mona was giving you rhythm, enough rhythm for you to not be focused on Mel. And I saw you chiming in, and I'm noticing you chime in more because I thought you asked a pertinent question on one of the topics today when you asked, how do you think artists feel with the placement on somebody else's album? Whether it's the placement on a song or the placement on or the sequencing of the album. Like if I'm number 2 or number 12. I thought that was a good question. I was like, look at Flip. But a lot of that came because you weren't worried about Mona jumping your back in. And you were shooting back at Mona and she was taking the jokes. It's funny how that works. But this was a huge turnaround. It's clear as day that Mark and Joe are going through something. Kind of woke it up last time, and I find it funny that Mark is responding to everybody about these aren't shots pertaining to Melissa Ford. You're only adding credence to the people that are saying these are our shots to Melissa Ford by even addressing and acknowledging us to begin with. I keep telling y'all, the more y'all address us, on things y'all aren't trying to speak about, the more credence and fire and light y'all give these topics and ideas of ours. There's credence behind it now instead of it just being speculation. Just the FYI, but I'm sure he knows that. And Mark is one of the best at playing into the crowd and into the audience for the sake of the show. So let me not make it seem like Mark doesn't know what he's doing. But come on, G, you knew what you was doing. You knew what you was doing. Playing games. I feel like a bird for what I'm about to say. I feel like a bird. But if I notice it, I know I could guarantee somebody else notices this. Joe, Mona, stop. Y'all need to chill out. People always used to speak on, me especially, how touchy-feely Joe was with Melissa Ford. It's starting off extremely early with the two of y'all, and y'all look rather comfortable. And normally it would be me addressing this to Joe, but Mona, I see your tricks, baby. I know what y'all doing. I see it. You leaned on Joe's lap a little too much for me this episode. There was one time he was looking up something on his laptop, and I saw you in the shot with your head leaning right on over, like, oh, Lord. Once again, if my bird ass can see this, imagine who is way more important to Joe that can see this too. Wink, wink. So y'all better chill out, or that's going to be an issue that's happening behind the scenes that none of the co-hosts are privy to, but everybody knows what's going on. And I don't want y'all to ruin the dynamic of the show because it's clear as day. Mona was a great addition. And a lot of people I see in the comments talking, oh, she still talks too much. Which one do you want? Do you want someone that doesn't talk at all or talks too much and can find the medium? It's easier to get someone that talks too much to talk less as opposed to getting someone who doesn't talk at all to talk more. And I'm not saying Melissa didn't talk. I'm really not trying to compare the two. I just don't want the replacement to not talk at all. And we over here trying to push buttons simply to get them to speak. And there's so much going on up there that they want to speak to, but this isn't a video dedicated to Melissa. Y'all got to chime in later today to get that one, because good God, they're letting it fly. Mona, shout out to you. Your presence is already felt. It's already felt amongst the audience. It's already felt amongst the co-hosts, because everybody was treating you differently the very first episode because they felt the animosity coming and emanating from you. But since you changed your approach, they changed their approach. And today was one of the better episodes I've seen in a long time. In a long time, as far as the chemistry, the cohesion, so on and so forth. So hopefully I can continue that in the future. It was a good episode. Y'all let me know in the comments, though. I could be bugging. Y'all already know my bias with Mona. But for I'm not going to say sophomore, because that's seasonal. But for a second episode, how do y'all feel she did? Do y'all think that y'all saw a huge improvement? Do y'all think she kind of remained neutral? Do y'all hate Mona's presence on the show? Do y'all think everybody else up there hates her? How do you think Mona and Flip responded after the video that was made towards them the last time Mona was on? Y'all let me know in the comment section, man. Y'all been showing up. I really can't complain to y'all. Y'all have been doing exactly what y'all need to do. Your boy over here on this end, I should be taking advantage of all this momentum, and I'm just not. Just one stupid ass thing that's a pet peeve of mine, but I'm the one that does it. Every time I start to get successful in something, I start to teeter off. It's like I don't want to witness more success or it reach the peak of success. So instead of continuing the 2 or 3 video day drops that I was doing, I pulled back. So I need to get back into it. And I appreciate all your support because y'all showing out like crazy. But as always, like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we rocking. You know where we're going. We just can continue sending. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Oh, before I sign off, y'all go ahead and tap into that Patreon. Y'all been showing y'all ass up over there too. Shout out to Imani. I see them numbers on that Patreon, boy. You shocked me. I didn't think you was going to come out the gate like that, but you doing numbers and you continuing to push out content. So shout out to Imani. But anyway, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/elevation. Drop daily damn near over there. Let me stop saying daily like it's just a secure thing because I'll be skipping days like a hoe. But there will be an upload over there. Tap in. I'll see y'all later. Peace.